Hello everybody, my name is Alex with Casanova Garage. Thanks for tuning in for a brand new video. This is gonna be, I believe, part 4 of the SEMA Mustang rebuild series. And if you're wondering why I have a dash next to me, that is because we're gonna be completely separating it from the actual bracket that holds all these different pieces together. If you guys are new here and aren't subscribed, please make sure to go down and do so. We already have a few other videos before this, basically showing how we got to where we are now in the process. If you guys haven't already, please be sure to watch the other videos first, as that explains a little more into detail how everything came to be with this car and why it's in the state that it's in. And if you guys are wondering just how bad the rust issue is with this car, these are some of the brackets that came off of the interior that hold some of these side panels on. And well, you guys can see just how bad that is. Now, I don't want to touch it too much because last thing I need is to get an infection from all the rust. That's why we're going to be taking off the actual bracket that comes behind the dash to repaint everything and stop this rust issue from spreading, especially if we're going to keep this car long term. We don't want to have that issue down the road and have to get to this step all over again just because we didn't take it out. Let's get into it. This is going to be the first time taking apart this dash to this level. So I'm going to bring you guys along with me and we're going to show the process of exactly what it takes to get this frame off. Hopefully we don't have to remove too much. Just to show you how he is, he cut my sensors, the cables to the airbag sensors. Look at that. This is the one that goes on the footwell. Cut.
A few moments later.
Now that I think I have every single bolt removed, we're gonna go ahead, try to remove the bracket now. I'm a little nervous because I kind of lifted it up a little bit when you guys were on the GoPro, but I think I have it completely off now. Oh crap. Okay, one cable is still connected. If we get this guy out, that should have been the final thing holding this to the dash. It wants to, there it is. Look at all that rust, guys. That is what we're getting rid of. And I'm surprised the center part isn't rusted whatsoever. Maybe there's a different material. I already took note of where all the grounds are, so that we'll just have to clean off and leave exposed. Maybe we might put tape around it or something for when we paint it. That still stays the actual raw metal. I just need to remove all the clips and everything, so it's just the bare frame. And then we can get a move on cleaning some of these other parts. This is heavy. Now I see why cars take this off. They do this for weight reduction.
346 minutes later.
So since the last clip of you guys seeing us take out the actual bracket behind the dash, now we finally got it back from getting powder coated. And well, check this out. Look at how clean this thing is now. So we got it fully powder coated in like an anti-corrosive type finish. So now, even if this gets wet, even if this gets wet for any reason, at least we know for sure it won't begin to rust again. So hopefully we never have to get it to this level ever again. Now we can finally start putting this back together, putting the dash back together to get it into the car. We also got the carpet for the car, so that will be able to go inside. And then if you guys remember, we still have to rewire some of the cables that are right here by the 3 pedals, and also some of the cables that are back here on the main harness because of, well, what was cut.
Much later.
Everything under the dash by where the pedals go, I was able to splice all of those together. I was able to match all the same colored wires together, splice those together. Some were different thicknesses. I really had to take my time with that, so I didn't want to bore you guys with that. I went ahead, taped it all up with some electrical tape just to hold everything together. The only thing left to see is once we get the car on, to make sure the clutch engages when starting the car, to make sure that the brakes work, like the brake lights work as soon as you press that, to make sure that it's able to rev and kind of give it gas once the pedal is pressed. Those are the few things that we really got to make sure for when we get the car started.
10 seconds later.
Well, it's a new day. That means getting more progress done on the SEMA Mustang rebuild. We already showed you guys the brackets that we got powder coated. We were able to complete the last 2 cables of the harness that needed to be spliced together. So everything is done. Now we can get a move on putting this harness back together, clipping everything back in, getting these brackets reinstalled, and then we can finally start putting things in the car rather than taking them out. Let's get to it. So it took quite a bit of finicking with, but I think we finally got the entire harness for the dash correctly installed. Now, once we start putting it in the car, once we start getting all the different components that go on the dash in, that's where we'll see where some of these connectors go. So bear with me. But so far, this is how we're looking. So we got everything clipped in, tightened up. We got some of the connectors off to the side here that mount to the sides of the dash on this side and that side. Everything that will go to the center console and the center screen. Now, in some of the clips on the GoPro, I don't know if you guys saw me, but I was looking at my phone a lot, and that is because with projects like these, one of the biggest tips I can give you is to record your work. As you're taking it apart, record every clip you undo, record how the harness is, record every bolt you take off, because once it comes to putting it back together, it will help a ton. Believe me, if only you guys could see my camera roll of all these different little clips that I have showing where these different bolts go, the colors, all this stuff. So everything was able to get put back exactly like OEM, and now comes putting in the foam finally to get this dash finally in the car, man. I don't know how many times I've said it. I don't know how many times I've been wanting to put this in the car already, but it hasn't been done. But finally, it's complete. I am super happy with the progress that we've made today. So I think that is gonna conclude this video. I'm so excited to see what we're gonna do next with everything that's been done to the dash, finally get it put together rather than seeing a bunch of parts laid all over the floor. I'm finally happy to see pieces getting put together like this. So thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, if you guys aren't subscribed, please make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to Casanova Garage, and follow along for this rebuild process. Not only do we want you guys to subscribe, but make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as well, where you can see a lot of the different reels and posts we make, especially on those different platforms that only require shorter videos. It's a lot easier for us to upload there. Thank you guys so much. Once again, it's Alex with Casanova Garage, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.